Welcome to Scrum Down. This is your one-stop shop for all matters rugby. I'm your host, Larry Asego, and I'm joined by Jotham Makanga, and we are doing it live from the RFC grounds, where we have the grand finale of the Bamburi Rugby Super Series. Two big games. Chui, they are taking on Ndovu,
defending
and in the grand final, Kifaru were taking on a very determined Papa. But look, only time will tell who will emerge champions. In case you were not there to join us for the action, our representative Damima was on the grounds, and this is the action she had for you.
The curtains came down on the Bamburi Rugby Super Series with the two matches, the third and fourth playoff, and the big one, the finals. Chui took on Ndovu in the third-place playoff match at the Impala grounds. And it was a surprise as Chui took the game to Ndovu, drawing the first blood with a penalty by George Okoa. But then Ndovu drew level with a penalty also, 3-3 the score with the first quarter played. A second penalty by Okoa in this tight encounter ensured Chui had a slim 6-3 lead going into the half-time break. In the second half, Ndovu showed their true colours, scoring a first try by Derek Ekurutu after a quick passing game. The conversion by Duncan Abukea gave them a 6-13 lead. Another Ndovu try by Reinhard Ashoya virtually sealed the match for Ndovu to finish the tournament on a high in third place. Final score, Chui 6, Ndovu 18. Across the pitch, the final pitting Kifaru and Papa was equally intense. There was only one score in the first half, Harun Lubisia kicking over a penalty for Kifaru to lead 3-0 at half-time.
It's absolute beauty.
Then Kifaru just exploded in the second half. Relentless pressure on Papa resulted in a try by Captain Rocky Aguko that gave the university side some breathing space.
Looks like they might be able to get over.
And it's a try!
And they score the try. UAP Kifaru scored the try. Rocky Anguyo, man of the match.
Man of the match, absolutely, yes. And we saw this coming. And Tito Duke was absolutely right. He said, let's go for the line out again. And that maybe curtains up.
The conversion by George Mutuku was good as they led 10-0.
And George Mutuku nails it.
Papa barely got out of their half. Kifaru knew they had the upper hand, and it came as no surprise when Brad Odwako scored the second try to seal the game 15-0.
Back of the mall again in a similar position like he was in the mall that scored the try. Just trying to get the players in there, and they go down. Does the referee think it's good? It is a
try. And it's game over.
I think that is a nail on the coffin.
Game
Rocky
over.
Anguyo, second try of the game.
The moment they beat Ndovu, I knew this team was serious. But well done to Kifaru. And the ball is still going on right now. The referee hasn't blown the final whistle yet. And it's all over. It's all over. Kifaru have won the Bamburi Super Series 2014. Hugs, excitement all round. Charles Govi and Tito Duke for a job well done in molding this team to win the Bamburi Super Series. Well done to Kifaru, your Bamburi Super Series champions 2014.
It was a difficult match. We came in considering they'd beaten us at the group stage, so we came all out. Our coaches probably told us to correct the small mistakes. Our territorial play was a bit sluggish, so that's basically what we corrected towards the end of the game.
Their medals. They are receiving their medals for a job well done. No one expected Kifaru, leave alone to be in the final, but to win it, and to win it so convincingly here.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Kifaru team for bringing the game to us. We were slow off the blocks. The game was tense in the first half. The whole of the first half was so tense. In the second half, they proved to be much better than us. I won't take that away from them. They are young boys, and they played their all. I believe we didn't play our all, and one to us, we didn't do what we were expected to do.
But we were much fitter than the other sides, and we could defend for longer periods without infringing compared to the other sides who were playing. And as I say, the loss in Kakamega was it was better for us to have lost in Kakamega because it galvanized us. It made us believe that we are actually a decent group of rugby players, and if we put in a bit more hard work and belief, we can win it. Then sponsors UAP came in because the extra training sessions are not paid. So a sponsor came in, and every session the boys were getting dinner, so we could afford to have extra sessions compared to other teams that were having 2, were having 4 sessions. So it gave the coaches a much longer time to work with the players and improve on the fitness, and it showed. Second half, they didn't get into a half, they were too tired.
And there they received the trophy, Bamburi Super Series champions 2014, Kifaru RFC.
This is the first time that a university side has won the Super Series, especially after struggling to get to the semi-finals where their true character came to life.
It would be great to see this fellow just growing stronger than he already is, because, I mean, as it is, he's not really a bad player, but I'm just trying to imagine the level of development that he can have in the next 3 or 4 years.
Yes, it's very true, Hilary. I mean, this is a guy who should probably be knocking on the door of the Kenya 15s team in the next couple of years. We expect to see him playing in the setup of the Kenya 15s team for the next couple of years. But well done to Kifaru for upsetting the form book and for winning the Bamburi Super Series 2014.
Right now we are moving on to a player who is one of the most prolific number 9s ever. Always spent his career of playing rugby at KCB. He's been named man of the match in several tournaments, man of the tournament in several occasions, and this is Peter Mutai.
Most of the players of his generation have either retired or have ventured into coaching, but Peter Mutai combines both, playing scrum half for KCB Lions and coaching upcoming team Thika RFC. The journey into sports for one Peter Mutai started with football, like most of the upcoming sportsmen did for lack of an option. There are no development structures for sports among the youth. Between alternating football and hockey, rugby looked more appealing given that Lenana is a big rugby school in Kenya, and so he switched. But the break into rugby was not easy.
I got into the second team for the school, which was probably dominated by the third formers then, and the senior team by the fourth formers. So from 3, I had graduated to the first team again because I was in third form, but I was playing for the first team.
The rugby culture followed at the university level, where he played for Kenyatta University's Black Blood before he was snapped up by KCB RFC after an impressive run that culminated his first call-up to the national 15s rugby team. For Mutai and KCB, it has been an 11-year affair.
KCB is more of a club of it's like a family. So when you're here, you feel like you're more of a family. And there's a lot of discrimination between the seniors and the juniors, and it's very supportive.
His achievements at KCB have led to Mutai being one of the very few players that have played for both National 7s and the National 15s rugby teams. Making a choice between the two was a bit hard.
For me, when I was a bit younger, I used to prefer 7s because there are fewer people on the field and it's easier to get your way past them. But I also enjoy 15s as well, and 15s is a bit crowded and a lot of breaks.
Mutai is not a fast player, but he is very skillful. At his prime, he had a killer step that unlocked any defense, however tough it was.
KCB inroads.
Yeah, stepping is nice because it's a skill where, according to, you can see my size, I really have to have extra skills to go through those walls in rugby. So yeah, it's a skill I developed. Maybe it's due to fear, you can say due to fear, or due to skill for going through those walls.
Mutai actually retired to venture into politics in 2013. The demand for political campaigns took its toll, and then again, he felt tired after putting in 10 years of rugby at KCB. But he slowly came back into playing and is back at scrum half at KCB.
Okay, I think first it was last year. I had gone into politics, yeah, and okay, I can't say I was much stressed, but it came with a lot of responsibility, because even after losing an election, you are still a leader. So you start mixing that. You're in a position of confusion. You have to attend training, you have to attend to some people are still thinking they're in the election mood. But apart from that, I think I'd also just played for, I wasn't comfortable playing anymore. I felt like I've been around too long, and fans, they are some fans, they rebuke you, retire. But actually I sat out for about 3 months. I remember the sevens was going on. Then slowly you start saying, you feel that you're not yourself. So I talked to the guys, as I said, KCB is very supportive. I talked to my coach, I talked to my team manager. They actually gave me time to go relax, rest. I quit coming for rugby a bit, but at some point I just said, it's up to, if God has given me this talent, why not? So I came back more happier and more relaxed. I was more attentive. That's the time when I got the coaching job. And we've managed to win a few cups, and that's also helped in really motivating me.
The biggest rugby fight for Mutai was shedding off the bad boy tag.
People call me Chicky, they call me Gooby, they call me what. But what people don't really know, maybe sometimes they don't understand you. Yeah? And like I said, I've had a few incidences, I can say. But generally, me, I like being happy. So if that offends you, sorry. But maybe just publicity part of just saying a bad boy, but actually I'm a very good man.
There is no mention of retirement soon, and Mutai is an example of the very few one-club players that have given service to their teams for more than a decade.
Try time.
On Rugby Legends this week, we focus on a guy who is actually an analyst currently. What he does, he goes to the pitch and looks at the performance of every single player to ensure that by the time they're going back home, they have the proper notes to see what they work on. Kenyan Rugby is going professional, and this guy, former Kenya international, he's currently the assistant coach of the Kenya Sevens team, needs no introduction. He stands very tall and he's got a big heart. This is Felix Ochieng.
My name is Felix Ochieng. I'm the current assistant coach for the Kenya Rugby Sevens team, and also a former player. And also on top of that, I also do some performance analysis together with the analysts for the Kenya Sevens team.
Felix Ochieng is arguably one of the unsung heroes of Kenyan rugby. Toti, as he is fondly known by the rugby fraternity, has seen the sport come to full circle from his playing days as a forward for the Kenya Harlequins. With a career spanning 2 decades as both player and coach, Felix Ochieng's love for the oval ball does not seem to relent.
For me, the rugby started in high school, of course, Nairobi School, which was and still is one of the schools that play lots of rugby. And then after that, I joined the club. I mean, I've played for 2 clubs, so that was Stanchart. I think I started off just a bit in Mwamba, and then Harlequins throughout most of my playing career.
He became a regular for both the Kenya Sevens and Kenya 15s teams in the early 90s when the sport started to spread its roots in the country.
As a player, some victories to me were very, very sweet, like in Manchester, 2001, Commonwealth, beating Samoa in the pool stage. That was obviously very, very key.
Ochieng played alongside the likes of Benjamin Ayimba, Oscar Asir, Sami Kakame, Mitch Ochola and many others, but took his time to hang his boots long after his teammates who found him playing the game had retired. The next logical step was to take up a coaching role. Toti became part of the Kenya Harlequins technical bench before being drafted to the Kenya Sevens coaching staff.
There's always this saying that not all players make good coaches, so it was obviously something that, at that time that you'd put confidence in the seven, and it's obviously been a learning curve in terms of transitioning as a player, as a coach, because the game has been changing. For me, it's been very, very interesting, and I've been lucky enough, and also to understand the game. I think most importantly to be able to transfer, my knowledge of the game and being able to share that knowledge and experience with the players, and watch them, do the same, if not better, on the pitch.
As a coach, Felix Ochieng has seen Kenya's highest and lowest moments. Situations he admits have tested his character. Now, in your 20 years of rugby, what do you think was the turning point of Kenyan rugby?
I think the turning point has obviously been the development of the game, that has grown through the grassroots, and I think also there's been a lot of exposure.
The key to consistency in performance is by professionalizing the sport.
First of all, for me, I view professionalism also as a state of mind. You know, everyone sees professionalism obviously financially, but professionalism obviously a state of mind. It's obviously an approach.
Ochieng plays the role of an analyst as well as the assistant coach of the Kenya Sevens team. Every night, he would sit on the computer long after the rest have gone to bed, analyze each and every player and each and every game.
I pick out Injera, then it gives me a screen, you know, and shows every involvement in terms of, and over here you can see it's 18 involvements. So that as we know, Injera was obviously playing a different role. He was kicking off, you know, and we just go through the tab button. So I just go through different parts. So this is his first receiving, where he received the ball. So for example, here it's his try. So it shows exactly where the try is scored. You know, we can pick on that. It was initiated 5 years ago, but more so this particular year when Paul True came, we've really taken it to a different level. You know, we've had upgrades and we've been able to disseminate what the players are doing. Each and every movement, and it's labeled, you know, and you can go into a file and then pick, for example, Felix Ochieng or Collins Injera tackles, defenses, or a team. So currently we're the only ones, you know, we're the pioneers for this game-changing software. It's for the whole team, so it just captures for the whole team. So we capture what needs to be done on it is by sports code. And then recently we've been able to transfer even that information onto iPads, you know, so the players can be able to, in between games, they can have a look at their clips, at the movement, at areas that they need to work for, and being able to analyze, you know, different areas and also the opposition as well. It's a tough job. I mean, it's sleepless nights in terms of the analysis, because it's once the tournament is over, you know, the coach needs these ones ASAP on the next day for his presentation to the players. He may not use all of them. He may use the key ones. So, I mean, sometimes it's late into the night when everyone's asleep. That's when the work begins. The work begins for analysis. So it can take you from half an hour to 4 hours in the evening. Yeah.
Felix Ochieng, who is renowned for his conservativeness, surprisingly revealed the origin of his nickname Toti.
It's almost like a best kept family secret, but then it's actually it was when I was young. It's such a long story. Anyway, let me say it. Rugby's family. So I mean, it's, you know, it's typical in Africa's family when the kids are growing up that we used to refer to, our parents refer to other children as Mtoto. You know, I can say Mtoto wa Nani. So I use that cue. So when my mom sees other children, she said, "Do you know Mtoto wa Nani?" So I was unable to say the word Mtoti when I'm Mtoto. So I used to say Mtoti.
Toti, who has seen the Kenya Sevens team reach the main cup final twice, believes the squad will clinch the elusive cup very soon. But before that, the Commonwealth Games will conclude the season for the new team in Glasgow, Scotland.
Welcome back to Scrum Down. A true legend, Toti. I mean, this guy dedicated his life to rugby. I mean, he played it at professional level. Exactly. One of the best played from Kenya Harlequins. Right now, he's an analyst. His work is actually very technical. What he does, when a game is going on, he looks at the performance of every player, does a report, hands it over to the coach and says that this player needs to focus on this area, that area, meaning Kenyan rugby is going fully professional. I think that's really important. That's something we need. And we have having such a former player and right now member of the technical team, Kenya Sevens team, with international experience, both as a player and now as a coach. There's no telling just how much more we can make, how much more progress we can make with such a person giving his input in. And it's something very, very important that I think players need individually, clubs need also on a club level, and on national level, it's something we need Kenya Sevens wise and Kenya 15s wise. And what I like about Kenyan rugby is the fact that even former players are coming back to the game. They're giving back to the game, whatever way they can. In one way or another, either they're coming back as sponsors, they're coming back as technical advisors, as coaches, as we see. I mean, and this is what we want Kenyan rugby to actually portray out there. So if you're watching rugby out there, you're a former player, please just come back to the sport. As you can see what Toti did. Right now, he's assistant coach for the Sevens team, and we want to see him coaching the Sevens team one day. One day in future, hopefully. I mean, you never know. I mean, basically, if we learn what we can right now from the foreign coaches we had coming in, we may end up being a powerhouse. Well, that is what we have time for this week, but just remember, next week, we've got a big rugby action.